One of the great beauties about video for us was that we could do what we wanted with it.
They were the first band who relied heavily on looking good and being connected intimately with their film.
Because there was a new medium, people had to get involved with it. Because if you didn't get involved with it, you kind of got left behind.
They were very influential, very adventurous, and obviously had EMI by the nuts.
Video Killed the Radio Star presents Extended Play, The Artist's Interviews. In this episode, Nick Rhodes and Simon Le Bon discuss the early music videos of Duran Duran with the directors that made them.
The video industry at the beginning of the 80s, it was the Wild West. And nobody really knew what it was supposed to do, but the possibilities were endless.
They were the new thing that kind of came on the scene around about the same time as when we came on the scene.
The thing is, a great video definitely helped a song at that point. But if you didn't have a great song, you could have a fantastic video and it really wouldn't make a lot of difference.
A lot of other acts were really quite resentful of the fact that suddenly they had to think about how they looked and what they were doing, and rather than just the sound they were making. I understand that.
It was a pretty blank canvas then, because although there had been clips for songs much earlier, nobody had really taken a video and made a little film to go with their song. And that's sort of how we viewed it, almost like a trailer for a movie.
We were all in the boat together, and the boat usually had leaks. But everyone, we tried to enjoy ourselves.
I think we did two films for them in the end. They were both great fun to do, and they were good in them, They, as participants and actors, if you like, took to the medium like ducks to water.
We worked with some very smart people. Russell really was the greatest video maker at that time. He did Planet Earth for us, and we had no clue then what that was really going to turn out like.
I'll never forget when that bus pulled up. I was in Camden, some studio, and this bus pulled up with these boys in frilly shirts, full coming out. And going, what the fuck? I mean, I was still a surfer from Australia, but we get along very well, very quickly.
We knew that Russell had made a great video with Vienna, and we were quite happy for him to storyboard it, give us a rough idea of what we were going to get, and to go with it.
The reason we did the video was because the song had become an enormous hit in Australia, and we didn't have time to go there because we were touring. And they said, you've got to make a video. They don't know what you look like. They want to see what the band looked like. We said, okay, sounds fun. You mean you're going to make a short film for our song? So then we talked to Russell and we liked him, thought he really had great ideas about it. We went to a studio in northwest London, and we went in and we thought, wow, how is this going to work? It was shot on video, so it was very cheap to do. But then afterwards, he was layering all these effects. They were shooting through glass with mats on the glass, is how they created the set.
Yeah.
And we really didn't know what it was going to look like afterwards. And then when we saw it, we thought, oh, okay, this all makes sense. And that was the beginning, really, for us. And then it crystallized with each video we made after that. As artists, you should always take chances with everything, with music, with your visuals, with whatever it is you're working on. If you don't, it just becomes very drab and homogenized, middle of the road. stuff that actually really irritates me. I like things to be one end or the other. With the Girls on Film video, yeah, we took a big chance with it. It could have backfired, but we felt confident enough that it was funny and it was edgy and modern, and no one had really done a full-length video at that stage. I think that was pretty much the first extended video.
I think they wanted something that was going to get them noticed. They were part of a new wave of English acts trying to make it in America, and it makes sense. You want a film that people are going to talk about to spread the word, and sex always does that still.
It's a very interesting time. In America, there's a guy called Ed Steinberg who just started up these video jukeboxes that they put in nightclubs. And they worked pretty much the same way as regular jukeboxes do, except that there was a big screen up and a great sound system, and people would put in their favourite video. And bless him, our manager at the time thought it'd be really cool to make a dead sexy video that all the boys wanted to see again and again and again, and it would be really good for Duran Duran. And we went ahead and we did it. One of the things that was so right about it was getting Godley and Cream to make it, because of their sense of humour. You can't make a sexy video without humour in it, otherwise you look like a complete idiot.
But Kevin and Lol, they had really good ideas about it, and I think because it was so tongue-in-cheek, they just knew what to do with it.
The actual job wasn't coming up for a bit, and Lol and I went on holiday. We made notes while we were there on things that we thought would be pertinent to the film. And Lol saw mud wrestling in LA, and I went to fashion shows in the south of France. So we thought, well, why don't we create a catwalk fashion show where more interesting things happened than just models walking up and down. And that was kind of the genesis of the idea. And then we found a couple of talented ladies who were prepared to shed more clothing than was necessary, which worked extremely well.
We had topless girls in it, we had all kinds of malarkey going on with ice cubes and slippery poles and feather dusters and mud wrestling, and we were teenagers at the time, so it was very exciting for us.
I remember it was a closed set, but other shoots were going on at Shepperton, but suddenly they closed down and faces were appearing around curtains and so on and so forth. That was a great shoot.
There was non-stop laughter. They were just cracking jokes the whole time we were working with them. I also think they made it very easy for the girls to take their clothes off and do the things they did without being embarrassed.
I get the feeling, knowing Duran Duran a little bit, that they probably would have liked the film a little bit better had it been a bit more arty, a bit more towards style, a bit more towards fashion. It was a bit soft porny. I think maybe the high heels should have gone and the fur coat kind of vibe. But hell, it worked. It did the job.
Of course, there was two versions, because the other one was the long version was banned by everyone. So there was a watered down.
Except everybody got to see it.
For the other one, well, yeah, of course. And that was the very purpose of it. And it worked very well in America, in these nightclubs where they were showing them on these video jukeboxes. It was a massive success. And of course, they showed it on television in a lot of Europe, not in the UK, but Holland, yeah. It was really like guerrilla filmmaking. I mean, certainly the ones we did in Sri Lanka with Russell. They went there for a few days in advance, did a recce over the island, found some places that looked good, found someone who we could rent a helicopter from, And then we just got there and started shooting things.
We went there for 5 days, I think, before the band turned up. And we travelled around the country. It's not a big country. And we wrote the script. And we said, okay, we're here. We'll do a little bit of Save a Prayer, and we'll do a little bit of Hungry Like a Wolf here. And I think we did 3 songs out there.
I'm lost in a crowd, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Straddle the line.
You try to get the best value out of things. I remember people were doing deals with the government saying, look, it's going to be good for tourism, and can we get some plane tickets at a great rate, and what hotels can we stay in where they'll give us a deal because there's so many of us. You try and do that when you're really trying to create something special. You do whatever you can to make it happen.
On you by the moonlight side.
That was our first location video. It had a real narrative to it. It had a story about, me getting lost in the jungle and the other guys trying to find me. It had a cute girl in it. It had excitement, animals, wild animals,
In touch with the ground, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Center the sound, I'm lost and I'm found, and I'm hungry like the wolf. Straddle the line.
If you watch that video, it's outrageous because when John Taylor runs up to that little boy and shows him the photograph, that's not an actor, that's just a kid we found in the street and said, just shake your head as though you don't know. He's going, what? I mean, the kid who runs up and pours water into Simon Le Bon's mouth is water from the lake where the hippos and all the other animals are shitting in, and the kid we sort of kidnapped from the village and then put him back in the village after. I mean, these videos were so illegal, the way they were shot. I mean, they would have cost 6 times the amount of money. They would never have been done, and they should never have been done that way. But it's the way it was.
I break from the crowd, I'm on the hunt, I'm after you.
I think that one was definitely important to the genesis of what happened with us in video. We realised at that point in Sri Lanka, okay, there's a lot we can do with this.
I'm on the hunt, I'm after you. Mouth is
The Rio video was actually accidental.
Yeah.
4 of us were on holiday in Antigua. I think we'd finished working in America, and we were going to take a little break because we literally hadn't had a break for 2 years, and we were sort of halfway on the way back. We stopped there, and then after about 4 days there, we get a call from the management saying, no, don't come back to the UK. Stay there. We're bringing Andy out. He's coming on a plane, and we're bringing a film crew. We need a video for Rio, and also while we're there, we'll do... I think we did Night Boat there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand. Just like that river twisting through a dusty land.
So suddenly this film crew arrive, and again they're just finding out what's there. Oh, boat, right, we need a boat, let's get this, let's stick someone on top of a mountain. What are we going to do with the sax solo? It was really done like that.
Rio was definitely influenced by a number of photographic magazines. Because I knew we were going to be on sort of a very natural location. I just wanted some bright plastics and pinks and blues, and I just wanted that contrast of colour.
I've seen you on TV.
The split screens really came around, quite seriously, came around through the desperation of editing, because we really didn't have enough footage. And actually, when I left the island, I said, oh shit, I don't think we've got a video. There's even a shot of John Taylor with a saxophone up on the mountain, which is footage from a German tourist.
Nick and John both fancied themselves as the sax players in the band, which is why you've got both of you doing it.
I definitely got the raw end of the stick.
Well, I think what I like about it actually is they're so different. You've got John kind of giving it all the chest on top of Shirley Heights with the view down harbour, and then you've got you sort of like wobbling around on this raft. But it looked really. I thought it was really interesting. I think to me that's one of the best parts of the whole video actually.
Her name is Rio, she don't need to understand. And I might find her if I'm looking like I can.
For me, the thing that stands up about the Rio video more than anything else is the humour in it. I mean, it's ridiculous and slapstick, but it sort of worked with the energy of the song. That's another thing. I think videos got very serious. A lot of the videos that I like best, they really had great humour in them. And hadn't we been in Antigua, then it wouldn't have happened there. It could have happened in Coventry. Well, early on, I think it was actually a lot easier because we had such small budgets that there was no option. You just had to keep moving and get it done. By the time we got to make Wild Boys, that was an enormous budget.
Wild boys are calling on their way back from the fire. An August moon surrender to a dust cloud on the rise.
I think we knew that it was going to be something special because there was so much there.
That set took up the whole of the stage at Shepperton. It was a huge set.
We had half of Shepperton, these sort of three massive sound stages, and people fiddling around with lights for hours before you could shoot a few frames that were only going to last for 5-10 seconds in the video.
Looks like they'll try again. Wild boys.
I remember the DP, Tony, coming out from Miami 2 days before the shoot, or a day before the shoot. And he came and saw the set. I went, oh dear. I went behind the back curtains and had 3 joints.
You got sirens for a welcome.
There was an unfortunate accident on the windmill sequence where the windmill got stuck and he was stuck underwater. There were no safety guys around, so we all jumped in and untied him because he was really strapped in there. Thank God he's got big lungs.
Where is all you angels?
As far as I was concerned, this kind of myth evolved that I'd nearly drowned while we were on the windmill thing. And I can't quite figure out how that would have been. At no point did I feel frightened that my life was in danger. And for many years, I've kind of lived under the idea that, they just kind of made it up to sort of make it seem more interesting, a bit more drama to sort of draw attention to it, a bit more to talk about, a bit more for people to write about and stuff. But maybe, I don't know, maybe something did happen that I was so stupidly unaware of that actually was dangerous, which is very, very possible because I was often somewhere else in those days.
What we were really doing was making a trailer for a movie, but a big budget Hollywood movie almost.
It was the high theatrics that I love. I mean, I've always wanted to do that sort of scale where you can actually come down and things drop and people come out, fly out of holes and things are blowing up.
It was an extended version. It was about 7 or 8 minutes long, so there was a lot of room to play around.
The long version is not as good because the long version contains some silly shots of the boys with really bad animated tails before CGI happened. And so the shorter version is the better one.
The Wild Boys video is definitely the pinnacle for us of the over-the-top 80s video. After that, we did A View to a Kill, which was shot at the Eiffel Tower, but it wasn't the same sort of thing, and it wasn't anywhere near that sort of budget. One of the things with Duran Duran, why video works so well for us, I think, is that we always thought of ourselves as a multimedia act. For us, we embraced it because we thought, well, this is good because we can use art, fashion, photography, cinema. It all works with our songs and graphic design, and so it was very easy for us to see where to go with the form.
We always felt the music had to come first, didn't we? We never wrote a song with the video in mind. Sometimes people talk about the Reflex as being that song with the great giant wave in it. You know, the one that comes out of the screen. I mean, that's what our fans think about the Reflex. Now, to me, it's a different thing. It's about a story that's told in the lyric, which is a different thing altogether. But you've got to accept that and let it go. You can't sort of go around the world saying, but no, that's not what it's all about. It's not about being on the front of a boat and all that stuff. When we started, we actually didn't care that much, which I think was a very good attitude. You know, it was fun. In the 90s, definitely there was pressure to make the video. We need the video, and perhaps in some ways the video became more important than the song. Certainly to the people who are marketing your music. I don't think it did to a lot of bands, though.
No, I mean, the point when I lost interest in it was when we used to have all these synopsises come through and there'd be 5 pages and photos and reference images and all these things. We literally used to do it on the back of a napkin. It's, oh, that'll be good, let's go there and see what we can shoot. It became much more serious later, and it took a lot of the fun out of it.
It's a different age now. It's very rare that people are willing to spend the kind of money on videos, for starters.
I mean, for me now, the video culture has moved onto the internet. A lot of people consume things that are cheap homemade things on YouTube rather than looking for that big budget superstar act doing a major video. And often, when they're better ideas, they're more interesting than someone throwing a pile of money at something.
I was always falling through bridges and in videos, and that was kind of my role in the band, I guess, because I'd been at university doing drama. But there were quite a few safety issues. There were lots of heights and things involved.
See, unlike John and I, who didn't like to get our hair wet, and we didn't want to ruin our suits by falling through bridges.